Hello, bitches. This is Chrissy Costa, and you are listening to the Poor Man's Podcast.
Hey guys, it's Britta, and I don't know about you, but this year is all about trying new things for me. And we're gonna start off with the 6th annual onesie bar crawl on January 14th in the Southside. Bundle up in your favorite onesie and have a great night out with your friends. Each person will receive 1 to 2 complimentary drinks or shots and exclusive food and drink special as well. Some of the participating bars are Carson City Saloon, Mario's, Oddballs, and The Flats. Be sure to buy your tickets in advance. Calling all cheese lovers, Nosh and Curd is hosting a charcuterie workshop. Try your hand at building a winter-themed charcuterie board at this particular workshop, and you get to enjoy tasty treats, fun cheese facts, and you can recreate your board for your next gathering. Tickets are selling fast, so be sure to reserve your spot as soon as possible. And clear your calendars on January 14th at 1:30 p.m. for the mascot skate at Shenley Park. This sounds like an absolute blast. Like, I don't know about you, but if I could skate, I would totally do this. You get to skate around the rink with the Pirate Parrot, Rock from the University of Pittsburgh, Iceberg, the Eaton Park Smiley Cookie, and more of your local favorite mascots. Tickets are less than $5, so it's absolutely worth it. Plus, just imagine the photo ops, like iconic. And lastly, it's Pittsburgh's Winter Restaurant Week. Starting today through January 15th, participating restaurants are offering deals on some of their best dishes and drinks. Some of the restaurants are Piata Italian Street Food, Kebab and Curry, The Porch, Scarpino, Paris 66, and so much more. And it's all over the city. It's not just in downtown, so there's a lot of opportunity for you to try a new restaurant or explore a new neighborhood. For a complete list of restaurants and the deals that they're offering, visit our weekend guide. Plus, check out more happenings, discover where you can compete in a Nerf gun battle. Yes, a Nerf gun battle. Talk about inner childhood. And so much more in our weekend guide. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful ladies from Stuff to Do in Pittsburgh. They always have the best events every single week, and I am so excited now. We will discuss that in 1 second, Cheech, because I have a question immediately for our guest. This week, we were joined by Chad Medved of I'll Call You Right Back podcast. Chad, how are you this week?
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
It's always exciting to have... Thank you. There you go, Cheech. Now, Chad, I did notice when I saw your pictures, I probably noticed things that are different than most people. I noticed that you also have the Roadcaster, correct?
I have a Roadcaster.
What's your opinion on it?
It's good. It's a good step up from what I did use. I used just H6, you know what those are? Just like it's a little box recorder.
Okay, yeah.
It doesn't have any like capabilities to add sound bites or anything like that. But Roadcaster, you can't beat it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan, and I know probably half the people listening don't care about the format that we recorded on, but I'm a nerd like that. But my immediate question, before we get into all the important stuff, Chad, the Stuff to Do in Pittsburgh girls, we're just talking about the best, or the mascot skate. As a Pittsburgher, who's the best or worst mascot in Pittsburgh currently?
The best or worst mascot? I mean, I feel like if you put them all up in a WrestleMania, it got to be Iceberg, right?
Yeah, to win?
Got to be Iceberg.
He's taking
Iceberg's the coolest for sure. That is the right answer.
I don't really know if any other. I mean, there's the Panther.
Yeah, there's Rock the Panther.
Steely McBean.
Yeah,
I was
awful.
gonna ask
Steely
if he
McBeam's
was
on
still
the.
even a thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's Pirate Parrot,
Doesn't Duquesne have like a?
Duquesne Dukes.
Yeah, doesn't he look like a pirate? Or
Probably. I don't. For what is even a Duke? Isn't that like a political stance? Or
Duke?
Sounds like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like he looks like a Three Musketeer almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's like if somebody was like, "Oh yeah, he's the Archduke" or whatever. Like what? I don't know what that is.
Me either.
I don't. It just sounds
Do
fancy,
the
I
River
guess.
Hounds have anything?
River. I mean, I would assume they have a hound or something. From the picture that they showed, there was like, here I'm gonna pop it up for everyone watching. So we have Steely McBeam. There's the Pirate Panther. There's like a shark. There's the Eaton Park cookie.
Who's a shark?
sick.
It's gonna pop up for. There's a bear. There's Rock the Panther's wearing the Pitt jersey. There's the RMU Colonial guy.
Okay.
It looks like Abraham Lincoln, kind of, somebody wearing a top hat. There's a bear in overalls. There's, I guess, a Chatham Panther. There's an orange guy in a vest. I'm trying to read all of them so they can pop up on the screen. Steely McBeam's obviously there. But yeah, they're all down at the Shenley Oval Ice Rink. And I guess you can stop down and get your picture there.
That sounds like a fun time. Do you
That'd
guys?
be sick.
You guys ice skaters? Can you ice skate?
I cannot.
I can. I haven't for a very long time.
I
but
can.
used to be able to.
But I'm not very good. I joined an adult hockey league when I moved to Beaver County,
Oh wow.
and I played like twice because I was like, if I get hurt, I can't like actually pay my bills. So maybe I shouldn't pretend to be
That's smart.
Peter Nedved.
Smart for sure. Peter Ned.
What did you? Okay, now you guys can,
Okay,
can actually see.
okay.
Shark is.
Yeah,
Or the
You-
starfish.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a
Or the
donut?
star.
It's a donut back there
Where are you seeing the donut?
behind the star next to the shark.
Oh, right there.
Oh yeah, that's for sure, Donna.
Well, yeah. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
That
I
shark-
I'm confused.
Where?
The Froggy Frog. He might take it.
Oh, yes.
Oh
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah. But what's up with the Abraham Lincoln in the front in the middle?
don't
He's
know
sitting.
what that is.
Just a
Yeah,
man.
he's crossing
Yeah,
his
that's
legs.
just a
Just
guy.
a guy.
It's
That's
just a
a
guy in
man.
a suit and a top hat.
Also, like, what's it have to do with Pittsburgh mascots? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Where's that bear from?
What? Are you talking about the orange one?
Yeah.
The far left? I have no idea.
Is that a Berenstein bear?
no.
Guys,
Yeah,
where
I
are the
don't-
pierogies?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
Danny.
I want to know where jalapeno, the old onion are.
Yeah.
What the fuck is
They
that?
can race around the oval, man.
That's a valid question.
That is a
It
valid
is.
question.
Can I
I
ask you a question?
please.
Are you all people that do the onesie bar crawls? Are you those type of
I'm
people?
not. I've never
No.
done that.
No,
No?
I'm like,
Okay.
It's not. I'm not against it. The onesie bar crawl is not conducive for urination.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So you would need the flap, which is the classic in the back. Although I just feel like the regular bar crawl, like it wasn't broke,
Yeah.
so I don't need to wear a onesie.
That's it, yeah.
But I mean, if you do wear a onesie, I'm not against it, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you want to wear some onesies, go ahead.
Yeah,
Have you
they
ever been down there whenever that's going on?
No.
It's wild.
I feel like I've seen I feel like I've seen the Eaton Park cookie there, but not the other one. So maybe I just.
No, I'm talking about the onesie
The
bar
onesie
crawl.
bar-
Okay. Oh, geez, no.
I can only.
I avoid the South Side unless I have to be.
Definitely way more wild than the mascot ice skate.
Yeah.
Is it
A lot
just
more
like-
peeing too.
is it
Yeah.
just like thousands of people walking around Southside in pajamas.
I used to manage a clothing store down there, and anytime there was like themed bar crawls, we would just see this chaos. So it was a clothing store where people would just you would have street flow that would come in, and people would be wrecked.
Yeah.
Sport out of Jacks,
Yeah.
wearing like a unicorn, and trying to shop for high-end shoes, and you knew that it was just like a waste of your time to like entertain this. People
Yeah.
were just hammered. But anytime there was like a onesie bar crawl or like a soup crawl or anything like that, that always brought out. It always brought.
Did you
out
say a
the-
soup crawl?
Yeah, you never heard of the soup crawl?
I have
don't know.
not.
One day, people were walking by with like a lanyard on. And I was
Yeah.
like, what's this going on today? And they said, we're having a soup crawl.
Do you consider
Go
chili
from
soup?
Restaurant to restaurant.
It's a strange question to yell at somebody, but we were discussing it last week, so that's the
I
only
feel like
reason
it
why.
would be.
Yeah, I would
What would
assume
you
too.
consider it?
I would-
What's the alternate?
I consider it a soup, and I said
Can
we
I-
were talking about soups, and Shay said chili was not a soup. However, you go to Said Eaton Park with the cookie, it's right next to the chicken noodle soup in the
It's
same
a
vein,
soup.
man.
It's a soup. Can I saw this
Yeah.
on one of the shows. Can I say something
Please,
to you, Chris?
please.
While I'm looking you in the eye?
What?
Fuck you.
For the kidney beans.
Beans belong in chili, bro.
Yes.
If you
Listen, there are two
Yes.
kinds of chili in this world.
Okay.
There is New York style chili for hot dogs and hot dogs. only.
Okay. Okay.
That's like sloppy Joe mix.
Right, I got you.
No beans.
Okay,
You're
agreed.
talking about chili the soup. You better have black beans and kidney beans in there.
That's correct.
I was mad at you.
If you listen to it, I did say it is a personal preference. So
Oh, I
they
know,
do
I
belong
listen.
in there,
Yeah.
but I'm not about a kidney
I
bean.
just
The
want you
texture is
to know
just
that
gross.
Yeah, I'm not a bean guy.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
I make
Both
a chili,
wrong.
I'll put maybe a half a can of beans in there,
Yeah.
peas.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah.
But if it was my choice,
To
it's gonna be-
silence the critics, but yeah.
Right, man.
Just in a chili. I
Yeah.
like a refried bean, but like I don't need a massive amount. My parents scarred me. They would just throw cans
Beans on beans.
all day.
Beans too.
All
Yeah.
day. That's
Bean
all it
soup.
was.
But I'm glad we hit all the important topics
All
first,
the
Chad.
important topics.
But Chad,
Yes.
I was just listening to your podcast, your most recent one. You had John Shokowski on from I hope I pronounced his name right. We just had him on. We had him on around Halloween, and I think you had him on too
Yeah.
from Odd Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I saw that was kind of a recurring guy. John's awesome. I saw actually the guy who recommended you was Eric McKenna. I was on Eric. Danny and I were on Eric's show. Eric
Yeah.
has been on both of our podcasts. We both love Eric, but I saw Matt Light, a couple other guys. Let's see, I wrote them down. Rick Seabach, Chance Humphrey. There's a lot of guys that we've met as well. And do you have kind of a guy, maybe not your favorite, but one you can count on?
Favorite
Or
episode?
a favorite kind of guest, or maybe a favorite interview,
I mean,
or maybe one that was better than you just, maybe you went in not expecting a 6
surprised?
and it was a 9. Yeah.
one that just jumps to the front of my mind.
Yeah.
I always tell people is his name is Eric, and he is I don't even know why I can't even think of it. His name's Kevin Drobish. I don't know why. I don't know why he said his name is Eric. Kevin Drobish. I had a stroke there for a second. Sorry about it. But yeah, Kevin Drobish. He is the head of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science.
Oh, no way.
And I had him on, and randomly, just through a different person, he was referred to me. I put something out for October because during October I like to do like Halloween stuff,
Right, yeah.
horror themed stuff, and I was like, I'm looking for someone who works in a funeral home, embalms bodies, does anything like weird.
Yeah.
And another guy I know who was an old skate rat told me that there was another old skate rat from Polish Hill
Yeah.
who is now, the guy. So I hit him up, and he came on, and he worked for Cyril Wecht, did like over 1,000 autopsies, and
Wow.
just had all these crazy stories that were just kind of fascinating. With, I started the podcast because I wanted to hear about other stuff that I was interested in besides like my 9 to 5. So
Yeah.
it would be weird for me to go and see this guy in a bar and just want to fucking ask him 2 hours of questions.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
embalm a body? Just
Yeah.
tell me that real quick. It would be weird for me to do that. So
If you record it, it's cool though.
yeah,
It's so strange, yeah.
People know what they're
If you
getting
bring him
into.
to
If you're
your
like,
house,
yeah, you come in my
Put him in the
basement.
basement. Put a couple cameras in
Yeah.
front of him.
Yeah.
That's cool though, because that's one of those things that you probably wouldn't think like, oh, let's go get this guy on. But it's one of those guys who I bet they have really interesting stories.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I was talking about like how different bugs that they found on different bodies were like dating when people were killed, essentially.
yeah,
And it's like stuff like that is like, it's kind of grim now, but during October, when
Yeah.
people want to hear about the weird shit, that's perfect.
I feel like that's anymore. You see all the true crime, everything anymore. It's almost
true.
like you're kind of desensitized to it as much as like the science is really cool though. Like oh, we saw this, it decayed this long, so it must have been that, he was dead at this point or he was in the water at this point. All that kind of stuff is really interesting. All right. I was just looking because I wanted to ask you a couple different things. You know what? Let's just start with the most basic one, I guess. How did you kind of begin podcasting, and even more importantly, where did you come up with the name?
Podcasting came long ago. I was a big UFC fan, so that was that led me to Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, yeah.
Joe Rogan, like whenever he was still in the basement before it was like a podcast, it was just like a web forum. So I got into it early with a friend of mine, and we started to listen, and then we kind of fell into that whole Joe Rogan and Friends cult.
Yeah.
Joey Diaz, Bert Kreischer, all them
Right.
guys, and kind of went off from there. I loved the whole aspect of like being a fly in the room, because people always will see like the actors or the celebrities you like on like an Ellen DeGeneres show where it's like 4 minutes for you to like promote the movie that you want to promote, but you don't really get to like learn about the person.
Right.
So this like new thing that was coming out was such like a breath of fresh air for like the people that you loved, that you wanted to know, like, what was your favorite food? Like, what do you like to drink? Like, what are some things that happened in high school? And you would never have the opportunity to hear about that before. And it kind of just like, struck me back then. So in 2012, I started a previous podcast that we did for like 11 episodes, but there was no one to listen to it. So it dissolved pretty easy. But it was back whenever there was no podcast, so we had opportunities, like we interviewed Bert Kreischer and the Improv. This was like, like 2012. And
was it just your podcast, or were you with other people?
It was me and one other guy. And I don't know of another podcast that was in Pittsburgh at that time. I think it was right before shit started to like pop off. But I don't know if you're familiar with like Buzzy Turek at Epicast. He runs like Drinking Partners podcast.
Okay, yeah.
But he was someone that I've known for a long time, and he was like a sound guy.
Yeah.
So I knew that he was a fan of like all the people that I was a fan of, all these comedians, because that's kind of how I got into it, was just loving comedy. And I was like, yo, let's do a podcast. So we started it off, and we had video back then. I've been doing it for 5 years now. I don't have video, but we had video back then, but there was just no one there to listen to it because no one really knew what it was. And now, parents are listening to podcasts, grandparents, just a different world.
I think it's like one of those things anymore that you see with streaming services. It's just like whatever you want all the time. So it's basically streaming for radio. Like if I want to hear music, I'll put it on my Apple or Spotify or whatever you do. Same thing goes with talk radio. If you like talk radio, you just pick what you want. You don't have to listen to terrestrial radio anymore. You can pick what you want.
Yeah, everything's on demand. We're spoiled now.
It is. Was that Cheech? I was just talking to you earlier with the bank things. We need to have more. You were talking about a dispensary kind of thing.
Yeah,
that
the one
has
in Robinson. It's an old bank.
That's a drive-through.
That's my like.
But I feel like that's one thing. Like when we saw the future when we were younger, and like the Jetsons or whatever cartoons, they had tubes they would shoot stuff through.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see tubes in the future anymore. And for something like this, I'm happy to see a tube.
Yeah,
makes me proud.
Makes me proud too. I've been waiting my whole life to get my pot in tubes.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Here we are now.
Here we are, man. Here we are.
That's
My mom would be so proud.
Yeah. So you started what you said 2011 where you were podcasting, and then when did I call you right back?
It was like 2011, 2012. We did it for like a couple months, 3 months, and then it was right after I was out of like high school or out of my first round of college. Went to Slippery Rock, failed out, came home, was dicking around with my friends.
Yeah.
That's whenever we started it. It kind of fell apart then, and after it fell apart, I didn't do another podcast for 5 years. I always wanted to. I couldn't think of a name.
Yeah.
I've always been into like other stuff. I did like a clothing brand, and I just always have been someone who has been busy.
Yeah.
But the name, you asked me how I got the name. I'll call you right back. It kind of just like popped into my mind. Every time, people would call me, I would answer the phone and I'd be like, yo, I'll call you right back. And then I just forget to call him back. Because, like, I'm busy just working on my shit. It's
I completely understand.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's like where my mindset was. It's just like, it wasn't like a malicious thing for me to like not call you back on purpose. But it's just like, I'm busy working on my shit. And it's like all these people that I interview, I know at one point in their life, they have done this because like all the stuff that we're talking about each week is literally like their heart and soul poured into like, their life story. It's like everything they want in that moment. And I don't know, it kind of just like aligned with it all. It's like, I'll call you right back. And then I Googled it, nothing was there. Nothing was on Apple, nothing was on the website, nothing was on Gmail. And I sat on it for like a week and a half and I was like, I love it. So just ran with it.
Yeah, I get that. In a similar but dissimilar, when we first started this, I did this. It was probably around the same 2011. Not that I like tried it, but like I just graduated and I did it with my brothers who were both in like high school. We did it on Rock Band microphones and stuff. Like we half-assed it, but I kind of dipped my toe in the water kind of thing. What the hell were we just talking about? I don't know why.
What?
I don't know why. I completely lost my train of thought.
You were talking about whenever you started doing it back.
But what we were talking about
names.
I was talking about I'll call you right back.
I know, fuck. I can't remember what it was. I completely just went blank.
Okay.
It's all right.
It's all
Whatever.
good.
Yeah, happens.
Whatever. Either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
The
genuinely.
origins of Poor Man's
And
podcast.
here we are. With
I know,
Poor
but I
Man's
but I
Podcast.
can't remember what the hell. Whatever. Let me just stop the whole flow of the show. But whatever. If I'm sure I'll think of it and then I'll chime back in because that's how my brain works. But I just saw, because I was listening to some of your last couple ones. I saw that you just did a Christmas thing. You do some live podcasts. We've done one or two live podcasts. Kind of, what's your experience with the live shows?
I haven't necessarily have done any, live recordings.
Yeah.
I kind of just put together events. Like I put together things. I really just like doing fun stuff. Like I just want to do fun stuff. So if I go out there and look for it and it's not there, I'm gonna try to figure it out, because luckily, enough people enjoy what I do with the podcast that, they want to do fun stuff too. So, last year I put together a Christmas event where, I was like, I would love to just go to a restaurant and eat a pizza and watch a movie while I'm doing it. And I don't see it anywhere. And that's what I wanted to do. So for Christmas, sold a ticket. Everyone was able to, buy a ticket. If you bought a ticket, it came with a large pizza, and you sat down in my buddy's restaurant called Yoli's Cucina in Jefferson Hills. Went there, sat down, got to watch Home Alone on a big screen while you eat a
Fuck
pizza.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Did a raffle.
Kevin
like
McAllister
that.
cheese pizza.
Yeah, just like that. So that was a cool hit. Then this year I did something different where I went to Parkway Theater in McKees Rocks.
Yeah.
Did a movie double feature, but I don't know. I just like to put stuff together, kind of.
Yeah.
Just make some fun stuff happen.
As soon as you started talking, I remembered what it was because you were talking about that. Sorry, and it immediately infuriated me again because you were talking about the name and you were like, "Okay, I saw this, and I didn't see anybody else with the name." So that's what I was saying. Like when I started, I did Poor Man's Podcast basically because we were like, "What do we have? It's the poor man's version of a podcast. Like we're gonna use whatever the hell's around, and I'm gonna tape a microphone to a hockey stick, and we're gonna have it over as a boom mic kind of thing." So when I did that, it was like that. So within the last 5 years or whatever, there's another Poor Man's Podcast in Texas. I don't know that he hates women. He's not a big fan. But anyway, so there's another one. Wow. So probably once every 10 or 14 days, every 2 weeks, I get something somebody will send me a clip thinking I'm a different podcast. They're like, look at this woman, look at this bitch. And all this shit. And I'm like, while I appreciate the bitch that you sent me, I'm not that podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, so I get that regular, I'm probably, I guess he's a bigger podcast. I don't know if he's an rugby, professional or something, or
Yeah.
I don't know why I assume that. Maybe he's not at all, but that's what I'm assuming.
How much
Yeah.
rugby
Random
they got in
assumption.
Texas?
Yeah, I don't know why I assume he's a rugby player from
Rugby
Texas.
player.
The more I'm saying it, the more I'm like, you're a psychopath. But he definitely exists on YouTube. That being said, if somebody searches Poor Man's Podcast, you're getting okay, this, about Jada Pinkett Smith versus me talking about, different beers or crows or whatever,
Cereal.
being robbed in Point Breeze or whatever,
yeah.
what have you. I'm glad we could all go for that journey.
Full circle.
Chad, have you ever? There's a number of times where we've had people on. Not that it was bad. One that I can think of, and I always want to say it's nothing against Ray Zawodny. I love starting the story with "It's nothing against Ray Zawodny." It wasn't him, but we stopped doing Zoom. Have you ever done any kind of Zoom things? Because it's
I
been
refuse.
don't.
I die on my hills.
That's a hill to die on.
Yeah.
Because we tried doing that here, and it was just an absolute disaster kind of thing. And I was just wondering, have you had any kind of thing where you were trying to record something and just nothing went your way?
I had multiple times where, so the first time where I was it was the first real problem I ever ran into. I was interviewing a guy who, he was this yoga guy who did sensory deprivation, and he was talking about how he was tripping real hard while he was floating, and how he was cascading through this inner dimension of meditation.
Yeah.
And it was so cool when I looked down on this Zoom H6N that should be blinking red, and I looked down and it just has all white zeros.
No.
And
No.
Immediately that hot feeling, and you're like, what the fuck? And it was right in the middle of this good story. So I had to wait until he was done with the story. And I was like, yo, I don't know what I got. So I had to, use his computer because I didn't have my laptop. This is whenever I went to his house for some reason. And I just didn't have any of my shit, discombobulated. I ended up missing out like 10 minutes. So I ran to Rite Aid, grabbed a memory card, ran back, redid the recording. It was fine. That was the first time. Vowed to never have that happen again.
The next week.
But as far as that, that's pretty much the only thing that was really it was a bad one. I had a file get corrupted whenever I interviewed Millie's for the second time, but luckily Chad from Millie's is cool. Come over again and give us an excuse to talk.
I can't remember who I had. It was somebody else that did a podcast, and I can't remember they had him on it. We were talking about how when they came on, they didn't record something, and it was like the next show.
Yeah.
Because we'll do this, and then I'll also do a sports show. And with that sports show, I think I was like 53 minutes in, and I was like, that light's green.
Yeah, you didn't.
That should be a red light. So I was like, JP.
Yeah,
that was great as a practice. Now let's try to do this.
It was good.
That was a great first take. Now for the half-hour one that we're going to publish, let's consolidate that and pretend like I didn't forget to hit record.
I've done that.
I've recorded multiple episodes with my wife. She's like she's a regular-ish guest.
Yeah.
She's been on probably 6 or 7 times. But every single time we've done it, we've recorded an hour-and-a-half long episode. We go upstairs and we're sitting there, and I'm just like, I just don't like that. We got to do it again. And we record a whole nother episode.
So she's cool about it.
My wife is the greatest.
Yeah.
She is my biggest fan, and she is just like a good sport. You know, if I want to talk to her about stupid movies or anything like that, she is fully in participation. But if I tell her we just got to do it again, she knows that I'm not gonna waste my own time.
Yeah.
So if I say that, it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
But,
right.
I mean, probably 6 different times we've done that.
Yeah.
You ever see that video of that little girl trying to sing "I Will Always Love You" and just going like "fuck"? She's like 4 years old, little chubby girl just trying to sing like "I Will Always Love You" and just keeps messing up. Every time I try to record intros, I'll mess up. I'll do 15 of them.
Yeah.
And I'll just scream, go upstairs for an hour, go back downstairs, and then it'll go smoothly.
Yeah.
We all mess up.
I like to just forget what I'm talking about half sentence, Just,
I mean,
let's talk about this. I started a podcast back then, and I can't remember anything I'm talking about. But, you try to get better every sinle week. You said you don't do video. Is that something you plan on never doing?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like with kind of where everything's going today, you kind of have to migrate into that. I just hate social media. I'm starting to loathe it more and more and more, and not want to be attached to my phone. And I do all this stuff myself, so it's just going to add in a whole nother level of shit that I have to do. That I don't know how you guys do all this. This is great that you're doing all this and you put video together. I just don't have the bandwidth to be able to do it, and I feel like that it's just another piece that could break, that I have to kind of figure out how to make work. But that being said, I like seeing video clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
I like seeing them on Instagram. So I might not make the whole podcast video, but I might put up a couple cameras just to be able to make content.
Right. That's kind of what I feel like I kind of want to do, because it's predominantly audio for this podcast, but I've had a couple people say they'd like to see it. So, why not put it out there? I don't like the clips as much because I feel like it's what can you show me in 12 seconds? And that's not really what the podcast is. But at the same time, it's a platform, so you should take advantage of it. Yeah. So it's let's keep the cameras rolling. Maybe there's something, but maybe there's not. But I don't think I'd ever change it so it's just that. But I do like having the video format. But like you were saying, it's a super pain in the ass to do every single part.
Sure it is. Do you ever have anyone that doesn't want to be on video?
I haven't had anybody yet.
Sally Wiggin did not want to be on video at all.
Really?
It was her first. She was this video. I mean, that's probably I would say 40% of the people that I interview are is this going to be on video? I'm about to do an interview with PGH Candle.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with them. She's local. She makes these great candles. First thing she said to me today was, "Is this on video?" All right, great. People just don't want to. I mean, not.
Huh.
not a lot of people want to be. Like, people don't want to, you know, adjust themselves or like have to worry about things. And I don't know, it's just understandable from that point of view.
Yeah, no, I could totally understand that. I just haven't run into that. Maybe I just have narcissists on.
No, I mean, you have
No, I'm
people
kidding.
on.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm
what
joking
happened
about
with
my
the Ray
guess.
Zawadi thing.
The Ray thing, like, so
Were you guys on Zoom?
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry
it
to
was-
go back there. I just
no.
didn't know what you were talking
I'll
about.
be glad to tell you all about it because it was a disaster. And like I said, it was nothing to do with Ray. But we were doing this, and it was like kind of after COVID. So we had Colin Chamberlain from New York. He zoomed in. We had a couple other people. John Malecki, like I was just saying, from Pitt and the Steelers. He zoomed in. We had a couple other people. But we had Ray on, and it was like his audio wouldn't come through.
Yeah.
So, like, it took a while to do that, and then we finally got him on, but, like, it recorded, like, 18 minutes, and then it cut out.
Yeah.
And it was just, like when I have people on, like, if the show sucks or whatever, like, I want to at least treat the guest as well as possible, because I do appreciate their time. Like, they don't have to do that. And, like, genuinely, when somebody comes on, I do appreciate it. So, like, I just felt so bad, and so, like, every second felt like an hour. Like,
get what you're saying.
okay, he's here. He doesn't have to do this. This is one of his first interactions with me. He just thinks I'm incompetent. Like, I just want to get this up. And then we finally got it on. And, like, while I'm trying to have the interview, it's like I'm focused just on
You're
the
worried about making
right.
sure
I'm
things are
trying to be
still
the tech
working.
guy while I'm also asking about his worst gig kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's
The whole
absolutely.
song and dance.
Yeah. But one thing that stuck out to me, you were just saying your wife is one of your biggest fans, and she'll listen to you talk about movie things. Now, for the last year, around March Madness, we did a poll because I asked all the guests who their least favorite movie character was. Now, I feel like you are a good person to ask movie characters if you had to pick, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Least favorite movie character?
One of your now, it's not like they're a bad. I mean, they can be a bad person, but like it's not like you're Hitler in this movie or you're like whatever. Like Grandpa Joe was the winner of the competition.
I've had like probably like a 6-minute rant about Grandpa Joe
Yeah.
on episodes. Shared multiple memes.
Right.
Literally the biggest piece.
He's
of shit
trash. He's
in
just thorough trash.
Biggest piece of shit ever. It's like years and years he's in there just chilling.
Yeah.
You know, these people don't have enough money, and then he's still getting money for chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
And like, Charlie Bucket don't have no education. He's chewing. And it's like literally offering no positive value to their life at all. They're all sitting in one bed.
Yeah.
Probably stinking.
For
and
sure.
It's just like, then this dude pops up, all good as new.
All of a sudden,
Piece of shit.
he'd never even made an effort, man. And the whole time, the
Didn't
mom's.
even walk with a limp.
I think he jumped and clicked his heels at one point, man. Yeah. That's out. Yeah, if that's not spitting on the mom who's washing
The mom, that's what I'm saying.
she's
How can you
washing
not
the
take
clothes
that mom?
and the dishes on the same washboard while she's cooking grole on the stove, while Grandpa Joe's, clicking his heels in front of Astaire on the
It's
bedpost.
preposterous.
It is. It's trash.
He won?
He won. I think the final four were him, Jenny from Forrest Gump. I think it was Rose from the Titanic, and Donner from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first thing that comes into my mind is Skylar from Breaking Bad.
She was top 8. She was
Yeah,
elite
made
8
it
for
pretty
sure.
far, yeah.
Terrible
She's
human.
absolute
Yeah,
trash.
she's soft,
Yeah, there were a lot of. Dan, do you remember who you said?
Oh, it's from The Wedding Singer.
Oh, Glenn.
Glenn.
Julia.
Yes.
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
The
he's
only other one is what's her name from Ozark? The wife.
Yeah,
Wendy.
Wendy.
Wendy
Wendy
Bird.
went pretty far,
Yeah.
didn't she? Yeah.
Wendy, I feel like Wendy and Skylar met up, so they
Yeah,
like the
you're
picks
right.
went,
You're right.
and it
was
screwed them over long term, man.
Yeah, it was.
It's like having two Republicans take the votes from the
Yeah,
Democrat
right,
kind of
exactly.
thing. You had
Like,
Wendy and
fucking-
Skylar,
we get it there.
Donner was moving to the next round,
No matter
regardless,
what,
man.
dude. Yeah, absolutely. A fucking guaranteed spot.
But Chad, where can everybody find your podcast, and where can everybody find all your info?
I'll call you right back on Instagram. I'll call you right back on Facebook. Podcast is available anywhere you find podcasts. Google it, pops up. Got a whole phone book full of names.
Yeah.
Pick one of them. Got a lot of good stuff in there.
Absolutely, we'll tag you and all that stuff, and it is. I recommend it. I wouldn't have people on that I didn't recommend. Like I said, I think Eric McKenna said something, and I was like, okay, I value his opinion, so let me find out.
Yeah.
I check yours out. Anybody that I see like making an effort, like you make an effort. Your podcast sound professional. You look professional. You're as good, if not better, than most of the people in the area, and I think you do a really good job. And anybody listening to this, check Chad's out. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, Danny, before we wrap this up,
Oh.
I really want to get into some of the news. Plus, we have the new news thing. So,
I've been
Chad, if
waiting.
you'd like to sit in and do a couple news stories with
I'd
us.
love to.
This will be good. I love that, and I want that to be my ringtone.
We'll make it happen.
Thank you.
It's only $1.99 on Apple Music.
Perfect. I will purchase it. Okay, guys. Big hitting stories. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Can't wait.
Okay. Justin Bieber wore a blanket while out to dinner with Hailey Bieber. This motherfucker wore an actual, like, crocheted blanket out to dinner with his wife.
That's all he wore.
What a dick. Can't believe
It's
him.
a fashion statement.
But it's crocheted.
Like a
It's like,
crocheted,
it's like,
blanket.
Oh,
it's like,
I thought-
yeah.
Yeah.
I heard you guys talking about crows before. I was like,
Crochet.
you really just
We've
talking
had
about
Shay
black?
on the show, too. We've had Crow and Shay, and now we have Crochet. Crochet's the little thing with the hooks, not the needles.
Right, like
Right.
the things that like your grandmas like make for you. Like I know I have a few of these
I
blankets
know.
somewhere.
Afghans.
Yes,
They
an
make
Afghan.
Yeah.
It's
Literally
great
wore
for
an
scarves
Afghan
and stuff.
to dinner with like a furry bucket.
Do you remember when we were talking? Oh, that was before you were on. Never mind. Nobody was here. This was before. This was like on the third show. Have you ever seen the Lenny Kravitz scarf?
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's
okay.
like a big
I-
circle that like you could like wrap up.
He could hide himself in
Oh,
it. Yeah.
yes, yes.
That was like our what the second show of the podcast was about. So go back and listen to that. Actually, this is a crazy tangent. Lenny Kravitz, because Chad, you're here, so I'm telling you specifically this story because I feel like you might be interested. If not, whatever. But
I'm actually a big Lenny Kravitz.
okay, so I was on Snapchat or something, and it was like Lenny Kravitz looks like this for 56 years old, and I was like, fuck Lenny Kravitz for looking way better than me and being 3 times my age or twice my age or whatever the hell he is. So I was like, also, it's weird that his name's Lenny. Like, why is his name Lenny? So I was like, searched Lenny Kravitz. I was like looking up his etymology and like his family history. He's named after his uncle, Leonard M. Kravitz or something like that. Why is he named after Leonard M. Kravitz? This dude is like a war hero. Like, if you look it up, Audie Murphy, like he okay, maybe not Audie Murphy, but like he was like I don't know if he was the captain. He was in charge of this like group.
Okay.
He saved like all of his men. He ended up dying, but like he saved all these dudes, killed all these Germans or whatever the hell it was. And like he's like a war hero saving all his men, and then he died like in battle. He got
That's
the
Lenny
Medal of
Kravitz's
Honor.
bloodline?
That's his uncle. That's who he got named after. That's his uncle, right? He got the Medal of Honor, the Purple Heart. Like Leonard M. Kravitz is a fucking beast, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely pretty sick.
And now you got American Woman, man.
American
So
Woman.
there you go. Cover from the Guess Who. But you know what? You got big scarves too. I feel like Danny, you were getting at a point. Sorry.
I mean, this man wore a blanket.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear
no, that's
Justin.
ridiculous. Fuck that. Put on some clothes, bitch.
Like, are we like? Is that what we're doing now?
That's
are we
where
wearing
we are.
blankets to dinner?
That's where we are.
You just need your name in the news at that point.
Everybody
Right.
wants
Yeah,
to be
you're
comfortable.
like, oh, you forgot about me. I haven't had an album out, so I'm gonna wear the crocheted blanket as a toga
Fashion
thing.
statement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, is
Like
anyone
that.
else wearing blankets out to dinner? Like, I'm not.
Isn't that Michael
don't know,
Jackson's
but,
kid's
like-
name?
Blanket?
Blanket?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. is. Yeah.
You don't see a lot of blankets named.
No. I'd also.
That's like a
say
one and
the
done
spotlight,
kinda thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
I also
One and done.
Yeah.
do my best to
Blanket
not-
Medved one day, you think?
I'll-
Baby.
Yeah.
Baby. Blanket. Afghan med.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you can crochet a nice thing and have them with a little, blue or pink hat and Mercy.
Justin Bieber would approve.
Are you believers?
I'm not. If anything,
I mean, I don't dislike him.
Say
I'm not
on
a
me.
believer, though.
I don't hate on him.
He's a G, man. Let's
I'm
be
one of
honest.
those guys, like, I'm not going to hate on him. I don't know him enough to really, like, critique him.
Don't throw no dirt on his name.
I'm here for the babes, dude.
Are you a believer?
I mean, I'm not out there just like putting them on Spotify all the time,
Yeah.
but like
You seem like a
he got some
Swiftie.
slappers.
Yeah.
He got some slappers.
Yeah.
He did that
Yes.
weird like EDM house music vibe for a
Yeah,
little
no,
bit.
That's,
Fucking
that's like
shit
the one
hit,
that's playing in
dude.
my mind right now.
Yeah.
That's what I said. He got some slappers.
Does he?
Yeah, where
I-
Yeah,
what I'm saying. I'm not hating on him.
I think we're on the same page. I don't put the. I'm not like, oh yeah, listen. To
I used to be a hater.
Bieber,
Yeah.
but,
I
like,
used to be a hater. I used to be the first one that's be like, immediately, no, fuck that. But in my
You know
later
what?
years-
I respect that kind of opinion more than anybody. The one who's like, nah, I was against it and now I'm for
You
it.
know what gave him a bad name is whenever he was like that snotty, like 20-year-old
Yeah.
who just had millions in the bank. That's like, I'm gonna be throwing parties and just getting all buck wild. Then you're like, fuck that kid.
The same thing I'll say with Justin Bieber that I will say about LeBron James getting millions and millions of dollars at 18. I would be a way bigger asshole. Like, I would be insufferable if you gave me millions of dollars at 18.
if you gave me millions of dollars now,
Yeah.
Yep.
doesn't change a damn thing.
And I feel like, some things, getting a lot of money at a young age could be bad for you. And I feel like, especially like LeBron James or somebody like that people like to hate on. I personally don't, because I know that I would have I'd be in jail.
Yeah.
I'd be in a white Bronco at some point.
100%.
Yeah.
Eddie
There's-
Bauer addiction?
Yeah. Absolutely. Danny,
All right.
you have one more story, right?
I have one more hard-hitting story for
I
everyone.
can't wait. Man.
Okay.
Leave the Biebs alone.
We're gonna leave Biebs alone. We are now moving on to Celine Dion.
Oh, shit.
Her fans protested outside of Rolling Stone's offices after she was excluded from the greatest singers of all time. This is a 200 top artist list that she was not included on.
God.
Other artists that weren't included: Janet Jackson, Madonna, which, guys, come on,
The fuck?
Cher, Nat King Cole, and Judy Garland. None of those people made the list.
Is this just voice?
I don't know. This is just what Rolling Stone said.
That's
For
bullshit.
what it was top
I mean,
what
for
though?
both.
Top 200. So that's 200
200 people.
artists.
That's a pretty big list.
That's a
They
huge
should-
list.
They ought to, even if they're closer to the middle or the
Let me
bottom.
ask.
I feel like Celine Dion has one of the top 3 greatest female
For sure.
voices of all time.
Yeah, but can either of you name any other song besides Your Heart Will Go On?
No.
Give me a second. There's
No, but if you can fucking wail, no, but if you can wail like
What's
that
that
on
song?
one song, you can wail like that on
if you touch me like this, then I need you like that. So coming back to me now. That's a banger, man.
That's a banger.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna admit.
Okay.
That's a
Yeah.
slap. That's a slap.
I don't know if any of the words are accurate.
I don't know.
Dude, Celine Dion's greatest hits. My mom would play that on the way to the beach. So like I know
Like
Celine
8
Dion,
Repressed
I know
memory number
Bob
2.
Seger's greatest hits, and I know
Just go
Kenny
back to
Rogers'
the
greatest hits, Inside and Out,
Kenny
and Jesus
Rogers.
Christ Superstar,
Nice.
the rock opera, not the fucking musical. Okay,
Jesus Christ,
Oh
Superstar.
my God.
Fuck
Great
yeah.
movie.
it is. It's great. Who was I talking? No, you weren't here for David K. Me and him were singing Jesus Christ Superstar. That's not how I thought. And Chad, I'm sure you can attest to this. There's so many interviews that you start out thinking it's going to go one way, and now you're singing Jesus Christ Superstar with a guy who owns a comedy club in wherever it is, man. Where do you think Celine ranks?
I mean,
Danny, are you a
personally, I'm
Celaniac
not
or
a
whatever?
Celine Dion fan, but I was very offended that Madonna did not make it.
Yeah.
Like, it's Madonna.
She should be top 200. If you just like Cher, like
200.
Madonna, you have the one name kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of clout,
Everyone
man.
knows
Yes.
the name. It's like kind of iconic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her recent Instagram escapades probably shooed her away from that list.
But with anyone like that, if you're like Adele, you're like, wait, which Adele? No, you know which Adele.
Yeah.
There's one Adele. There's one Cher.
Cher didn't make it.
There's one Madonna, man.
And there's one Madonna and there's one Cher.
Yeah.
And neither one of them made this list.
You a Cher fan?
I love Cher.
Half breed?
I don't know.
You don't know Half Breed by Cher? And you're a Cher fan?
I
Oh my
respect
God!
her.
Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever,
I
man.
know the song.
Starter.
That's as far as I
You
go.
don't know this one?
Yeah. You call yourself a sheriff fan?
I know.
You should have heard me in the car on the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
here.
No, you
Obviously.
should have heard me listen to Elton John before you got whatever.
Yeah,
I know, man. A little
We should have kept that
honky cat.
all fucking night, baby.
But Chad,
God.
thank you for coming out. It's always nice having a podcaster on. I really enjoy it. It's nice. Danny, podcast yourself. Listen to Damn It Danny all the time. But Chad, one more time, can you tell anybody anything you'd like to say? Anybody, any guests you have coming up? Anything you can tease for? I'll call you right back.
I don't really like. I'm kind of fresh with the guest list. I try to keep it as current as I can. I don't really backlog episodes.
Yeah.
I got a couple people that are every week, every Thursday. I'll call you right back. You can find it online. I'll call you right back.com. Anywhere you find podcasts, I'll call you right back. That's the name. Like I said, go through the phone book. A lot of names in there you might not know, and pick one of the names and just listen to their story.
Yeah. Absolutely. You don't even have to know who they are. You click on it. It's always interesting content. So,
Oh, yeah.
Danny, tell us about your podcast real quick before we wrap it up.
I have a podcast that comes out every Wednesday. I usually have local comedians or musicians on, and we just talk about random bullshit for about 40 minutes. And I love it.
Perfect.
So there'll be a new episode coming out this Wednesday.
Check out Cheech at Rosa's Hotel and Cantina.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Come on down. Get some food in Swickley. It's a good time.
Absolutely. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out. Download us on, all the places that you can find it. I don't know. If you can listen to it right now, you've obviously found it. So, find it on one of those places. We'll tag everybody and everything. I'm a professional, Chad. This is what we do. Cheech, it's been so great after your little sabbatical to have you back,
So
man.
happy to be back.
It's great to have you back, and it's great to have somebody else on the computer and the board so I don't have to do all of it as well as the video.
Yes, sir.
Thank
happy
you.
to take that load off your shoulder.
I'll give you a little Cheech.
Oh.
Danny, it's wonderful to see you, Chad. Thank you so much. Cheech, it's great. For Cheech, for Chad, for Danny, I'm Chris.
All I'm going to say is I'm so happy that I was allowed to be part of your day.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We hope you had a good time. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the show to catch the latest episodes and share with your friends. We can't promise not to embarrass you. And if you just can't get enough, follow us on Instagram at Poor Man's Podcast 412, Twitter at Poor Man's Pod 412, and Facebook. This is Pittsburgh's own Poor Man's Podcast signing off. See you next week.